In this video, I answer 5 of the most common questions that I see about using free recall as a study technique. In an earlier video, I demonstrated free recall using paper and pencil. But what about using a computer? What about using a text file or visualization software? What about speaking the free recall instead of writing it down? Now, there are some trade-offs between these different modes, but they're probably all pretty good. Now, we speak much faster than we write or type, and we also don't have to think about letters when we speak, whereas we do have to do that when we are writing or typing. So that's an extra little hurdle that our brain doesn't have to take. So it seems like speaking might be more efficient. On the other hand, when you ask people to speak about something, they tend to repeat themselves more often than if you ask them to write about it. And it's very possible that slowing things down with writing or typing actually gets you to think about things a little more clearly. For many topics, the ability to represent relationships and draw graphs or just have something external to you that you can go back to later offers a lot of value as well. Now, there's not a lot of research that directly compares the effect of these different modes for long-term learning. All I can say is to experiment and see what you like, see what might be appropriate given what you're learning, and I think they're all going to be pretty helpful. Another question that has come up is about the intervals in between free recall sessions. So does it have to be something like 10 minutes and then 1 to 2 hours and then 1 to 2 days and then a week or something like this? And the answer is no, it does not. My basic recommendation is to space things out and then use your own judgment. Now, personally, I use free recall when I am reading books or listening to podcasts, and I don't have a strict schedule that I stick to every time. Maybe I should, but rather than focus on precise timing, I would try to get a sense of your own understanding of the material. When you feel like you have lots of bits of information that are all scattered around, or you don't have a good sense of the big picture, or things are a little fuzzy, or you realize you can't remember something that you read or heard about a little while ago, that is a great time to do free recall, to clarify your understanding, to organize what you know, and to prepare to learn whatever it is you're going to learn next. A related misconception is that you should understand something really, really well before you start to do any free recall or self-testing. That's the wrong way to think about it. Part of the goal of free recall is to help you identify what you can't remember or what you don't understand very well. It is not something that you do after you have mastered the material. It is something that you do to help you master the material. People also have this idea that retrieval-based study techniques are somehow in competition with encoding-based study techniques. Now, you do have to make decisions about what to do with your time. So sometimes it does make sense to compare one strategy over another. But as cognitive processes, encoding and retrieval are not in competition with each other. You need them both to remember and understand things, and they complement each other. One of the benefits of things like free recall and self-testing is that it can help you encode more effectively in the future. Free recall is not just a technique to help you remember something. It's not like a mnemonic. It is a form of testing, and tests impact how we learn. They impact how we learn before we take the test, while we take the test, and after we take the test. If you know you are going to take a test in the future, then you will encode information related to that test differently than if you did not know you were going to take a test in the future. And after you take that test, you will encode information on the same topic more effectively in the future. Frequent self-tests help you to judge your own learning more effectively so that you can make reasonable decisions about what to study next. If you don't know what you know, then there's no way to make an informed decision about what to study. This dovetails with another misconception. Earlier, I think I gave the impression that free recall was a bit like vomiting words out onto the page. You can do that. It's fine. It's good. But a better way of thinking about it is as a sense-making activity. What are the interesting relationships? What are the interesting themes? What are the ideas that draw everything all together? What are the interesting analogies, the counterexamples, the unresolved questions? It's this process of grappling with the material that is really, really important. And that process is going to look different if you are learning engineering than if you are learning biology or history or finance or computer science. But the overall attitude and orientation has to be, how does this all make sense? As with any kind of studying technique, free recall is just a tool in the toolbox. It's a very basic tool, You don't have to use it slavishly under all circumstances. There are plenty of times when it makes sense not to do it. If you're studying math, you might do some free recall to kind of understand different kinds of problems and the kind of problem-solving strategies that you know, and to kind of organize that in a way that makes sense to you. But you probably are still going to spend most of your time solving challenging math problems. If you are learning a language, you might use free recall to learn vocabulary a little bit more effectively, but you probably still want to spend most of your time reading and speaking and listening. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. I'll see you next time.